Start recording. Explanation of activity 4. We now make a transition from individual stock hedging to broader portfolio management for use into grads. Understanding that a mutual fund is essentially a variable price buckets of assets is a key. So this is called a global shock Brock Fin 334 fund. So you can see how the inflows, outflows, and market fluctuations change the net asset value. The mission statement of this worksheet essentially is the per share value of the mutual fund calculated by dividing the total value of all cash and securities. In our case, the cash is not cash, but cash is stored in the form of this ultra short treasury ETF. So it is added as proxy for cash, and you'll see in a minute why. Um, This and securities in the fund's portfolio minus any liabilities divided by the total number of outstanding shares or units. Unlike stocks, which are made in real time, which trade in real time, NAV is typically calculated once at the end of the day. So the initial portfolio setup, first thing is we give a title called Oil Pro Market Mutual Fund or Brock Mutual Fund, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. So yeah, Oil Pro Market Mutual Fund. That's the first step. Second step is to create a portfolio header in the cells A3 to E3 with these things. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm just going to calculate or copy this and paste it onto here as Unicode text. So now we have this Unicode text and the market values are off because it should be C4 times D4 and not D4 times C4. So C4 times D4, and then Control D, Control D, Control D, Alt equals, adds it up, which is basically what is being asked of us. So we have to label this as total assets. And then we'll just go ahead and fix those instructions. So this is not B4 times C4, but C4. All I'm going to say is find what? Find all the equal B and replace it by, oh, actually, first we have to find all times C. So times C and replace it by times D. So that's done. Next, we'll do equals B replaced by equals C. And that's done. So now the document is fixed. Okay. Next step. So now we go to phase two. Oh, this is not total assets. This is gross asset value. Okay, we need to change that to asset value. Oh, wrong cell. Okay, maybe we can make this slightly smaller. There you go. More visible. The next step is phase two. Determine the NAV. So in cell E9, we enter 3000. And then in cell A to D10, 9, accrued management fees. Next cell is shares outstanding, 10,000. Next cell is per share NAV equals, no, I apologize. We made a slight mistake here. This will be net assets. So equals that minus that. And then shares outstanding is 10,000. So equals that divided by that. Oh, yes. So equals E10 divided by E11. Perfect. So the asset value is 55.5. So we did that. So step four is finished. Next, we go to phase three, the shock and inflation scenario in late March. To do this, the link to our previous Middle East shock discussion, let's create a new column when the market prices drop. Create the shock column in the cell F3. We say this is the shock price. If there is space, put the dollar sign. If there is none, no worries. Next, SPY is, oh, you can freeze this, Alt WFF. So this you can see, we've frozen the panes, I hope. Yep, we've frozen the panes here. You can actually scroll to the right or left, no problem. So SPY is 625, Apple is 255, went slightly down, Chevron rose, and SHV, well, it's money, right? So it stayed flat after paying a dividend. Now let's calculate the new values. And first of all, in the cell G3, what do we do in G3? Oh, new market value. We type it, new market value equals shock price. So F4 times, yeah, C4. Good job. There you go. F4 times C4. And then Control D, Control D, Control D. All we do is copy that and paste that. So copy the formula from E8, 9, 10, 11, 12, paste it here. That's the end of phase three. Going to phase four now. Very important. Finalizing column H. The title is H3 is return. And in parentheses, I can put percent. Now, return is calculated based on price as well as market value. Yes, that's correct. We can do it, but again, be careful because price is assuming the same number of shares. So I agree with AI here that we should do it based on market value. And so equals, come on, AI. Yes, thank you. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. It's done. So now what we see is SPY dropped by nearly 10%, but the portfolio did not drop by 10%. It only dropped by 5%, which is because of the rise in Chevron, but Chevron was not strong enough. You can see the Chevron's contribution was not good enough, and 0% change in SHV. So that is kind of what made our portfolio sort of oil proof. So this is the quality premium of Apple versus SPY. 260 only dropped to 255, or in other words, a drop of only 1.9%. S&P dropped by 10%. That's huge. Then the oil hedge, oil actually rose, and so it was great. The NAV impact because of this was therefore dampened. And that is Activity 4.1, really. Thank you for listening.